They came for my dock, first threatening letters taped to my door full of legal mumbo-jumbo and empty threats. Next came the snipped wires, the strange cars idling at midnight, and the so-called laws these folks invented to scare a man off his own land. You want to hear how a quiet lake cabin became ground zero for a war with an HOA tyrant? Buckle up, because this is how it really went down. See, I always figured I'd seen my fair share of nonsense in life, years as a marine engineer patching up busted engines in the middle of a storm, clients who believed duct tape was the answer to everything, you name it. But nothing, not even pulling a burning engine apart on Lake Superior, prepared me for the brand of madness a homeowners association can cook up. My name's Lincoln Hayes, I'm 52, and I built my own place by Whispering Lake. Dark cedar siding. Low roof. Nothing flashy. Just a cabin designed to disappear into the woods. My dock's a humble thing, blending right in with the shoreline. No fences, no screaming colors, and definitely nobody telling me what color to paint my porch railings. Everything was by the book, county permits, eco-certified materials, you get the idea. My land's not tied to the HOA, no power lines, no contracts, nothing. Just me, my slice of peace, and paperwork that says so clear as day. I run a little company servicing docks and locks, mostly keep to myself, and never needed anybody policing how I mow my grass. So imagine my surprise 3 weeks after redoing my pier when I find an envelope stamped with the HOA's gaudy logo and handwriting that looked like someone had carved it with a knife. I cracked it open, expecting a welcome maybe, and got a threat instead. My dock, they said, violated the visual harmony of the lakefront, and I had, get this, 35 hours to rip it out or face the consequences. 35 hours, not days. That's HOA drama for you. The signature was Dolores Whitmore, the President Queen Bee, and as I'd heard, a retired zoning inspector with a taste for bossing folks around. I actually laughed. My land wasn't just on paper. It was physically marked by county surveyors, boundary posts, the whole deal. I laid out my deeds and permits on the table like poker cards, every stamp, every signature. They had nothing. Still, I knew you can't just let bullies like that slide. I scanned the letter, shot it over to my attorney, and by that evening we'd drafted a reply, basically the legal version of a middle finger with all my documents attached. It ended with a clear warning: trespass on my land, mess with my property, and you'll answer to the law. I mailed it certified and dropped a copy in the HOA's own mailbox for good measure. But anyone who gives you a 35-hour deadline, they don't just back off. That night, sitting on the porch with a mug of coffee, I heard an engine humming. A black SUV lingered at the edge of my property, headlights sweeping across my cabin like I'd just robbed a bank. I made sure they saw me standing there and they slunk away. I didn't see the driver, but I could guess. Next morning, I'm up early planning to check a client's dock when I notice my backup power's out. Someone had cut the auxiliary line, deliberate, no question. Main solar's fine, but it's the message that burns. We're watching and we'll push. So I replace the line, double lock my utility box, and call my attorney, who tells me, document everything. That's what these people do when they get desperate. So I did. Installed cameras all along the property, solar-powered cloud upload, all angles covered. I was tightening the last bracket, picturing Dolores sipping wine in her mansion, thinking she could bend everyone to her will. She had no clue who she'd picked a fight with. That night, headlights crept along the tree line again. Not subtle. I grabbed my flashlight, walked out, and caught a sedan creeping by someone filming. I just stood there staring. They took off. You know what I mean? They're not used to someone looking back. A couple hours later, bang, bang, bang at my door. 2 uniformed cops, one kid fresh out of the academy, the other with that tired small-town cop look. We got a call about illegal construction and waste, the young one says. I laugh. Illegal. You want to check county signed off on everything. Only waste here is whoever's wasting your time. The older one grins, does a quick check, then leans in, says, call came from the HOA. I shook his hand. Thanks for the tip. I spent the next morning mounting cameras everywhere, uploading the feeds, basically turning my little property into Fort Knox. Later that day, I get a text from a blocked number. Enjoy your little cameras. They won't save your shack. No signature, but you could smell Dolores all over it. That's when I found the next note stuck under my wiper. One last chance to comply, or the board will enforce action. Straight into the fire pit, thanks. Next day, I drive down the lane and run smack into a concrete barrier. Big ugly HOA property. No access. Spray painted on the front. I'm boiling. I park, start snapping photos. Notice boot prints and tire marks. Heavy equipment, fresh dirt. Jim from the marina spots me. Saw a couple guys out here last night. HOA maintenance guy and two others unmarked truck. I thank him and call the sheriff. Officer Wayne rolls up, checks it out, offers to have it removed. I say I'll do it myself. By that afternoon, I'm swinging a mini excavator, busting the block to rubble, patching my road with gravel, and sending a photo report to my lawyer and the county. Let them try again. That evening, I drive past the HOA entrance. There's Dolores and her crew, clipboards in hand. I slow down, roll my window down, and say, "Nice barrier. Looks better in pieces." Her face priceless. But I knew it wasn't over. A few days go by, quiet, too quiet. Then fat envelope in my mailbox, HOA logo again. Inside are official documents claiming my land's been HOA since 2006, complete with amendments, signatures, and fake meeting notes. You gotta be kidding me. I send it all to Mark, my lawyer. Within hours, he confirms forged and county records show someone tried to alter the digital files just weeks ago. Registrar herself says she never signed a thing. I take the whole file to the sheriff, lay it out, timeline, forgeries, everything. "This is criminal," the deputy says. "Maybe someone inside the county office is involved." "Good," I tell him. "Let's dig." That evening, Dolores herself walks up my shore path, cream blazer, all fake smiles. She tries to buy me out, offers a fair price to avoid unpleasantness. I laugh right in her face. "You're forging documents to steal my land, and you want to buy me off?" She threatens lawyers, calls my cabin a shack. I tell her I've got cameras, documents, and a lawyer who eats bullies for breakfast. Get off my property. Next, the HOA starts a full-on smear campaign, bulletins, calling me an environmental menace, fake stories about me dredging the shoreline, polluting the lake. Garbage starts appearing on my property bags stamped with the HOA logo. Cameras catch Trent, their maintenance guy, dragging them over at dawn. More evidence. The sheriff's deputy is disgusted. They're digging their own grave. A neighbor, Paul, calls to warn me about an HOA meeting. I show up mid-speech, Dolores waving old photos talking about unauthorized docks. I step up, drop my permits and video evidence on the table, and play the clip of Trent dumping trash for everyone to see. You could hear the room gasp. Dolores tries to talk her way out, but I tell them the sheriff has all this now. You'll be explaining it to them. The next day's neighbors start coming around. Turns out Dolores has been fining people for birdhouses, garden hoses, even paint colors. We gather at the marina swapping stories, and Jim says we should file a collective complaint. We all sign on. Mark, my lawyer, is thrilled. He files a countersuit with every piece of evidence, names from 8 neighbors, and the county prosecutor starts a formal investigation. Friday court hearing. Dolores shows up with 3 lawyers, pearl necklace, the whole act. Their attorney waves the fake documents like a victory flag. Mark calmly hands over the real deeds and a forensic report showing the forgeries. The judge looks like he's swallowing a lemon. Calls the registrar on speaker right there. She confirms on record the documents are fake. Then Wayne, the deputy, takes the stand, details the harassment, the calls, the dumping, even the attempted sabotage. When the video of Trent dumping trash rolls, Dolores looks ready to explode. Judge rules every HOA claim against me is dismissed, and our countersuit proceeds, hints at criminal charges. Weeks later, final hearing. Mark uncovers financial records. Dolores and the board funneled HOA funds into their pockets for years. Former treasurer testifies she was told to fix the books. The jury barely needed to deliberate. Judge reaffirms my ownership, voids the fake papers, and orders the HOA to pay $1.2 million in damages with criminal charges for fraud, forgery, and embezzlement. Dolores is cuffed right there in court. The board is dissolved, accounts frozen, and the grip of HOA tyranny finally breaks. That night, some neighbors bring beer and grilled steaks. We sit by the water, laughing about the old days and the little tyrant who thought she ran the lake. A week later, I put up a new iron sign at my entrance, private. Always was, always will be. Every time I see it, I smile. Storms come fast, they test what you're made of, but you don't run, you rebuild stronger. Now, if you were me, would you let them back down your driveway? Or would you make damn sure this never happens to anyone else again? Let me know in the comments, because around here, justice is a team sport.